Sustain 267.
Leading us straight into Sustain 267.
Plug in, and never tap out. Never tap out. Wired.
On the line, I have with me from Sustain 267 the host as well as climate activist Nicole Rombe. Welcome to Wired.
Hi, Lorato, and good morning to all of your listeners. How are you today?
I'm surviving. How are you?
It's cold, huh?
But
I'm surviving. I'm all right. Thank you so much for having us back. I'm excited to be here, and I am not alone today. I am with a good friend of mine, Murphy Tladi. He's a biologist with a master's degree in biotechnology and biology. And today I'm hoping we can explore World Oceans Day, diving into the theme, sustaining what sustains us. Welcome to the show, Murphy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nicole, for having me. And thank you, Parata Lorato Media, for having us.
Shout out to you for coming through.
Okay, so to start off, we're just going to jump right into it. What does World Oceans Day mean to you as a biologist, and why should it matter to us here in a landlocked country like Botswana?
Well, Nicole, if you can remember, we don't have ocean and coastlines in Botswana, but we live in some sort of a global village, and everything that you do somehow or one or the other, it affects the oceans, and we also get some benefit from the oceans. You can see that currently, of recent, we are having people tasting food like the sushi and all those kind of seafood that we haven't been tasting before. So everything like that, the seafood, they come from the oceans. So even if we're a landlocked country, we should find a way to find interest and protect the oceans and make sure that whatever we get from it also, we get it sustainably.
That sounds good. There was a time I got food poisoning once from eating seafood in Botswana, so I've always just been a little bit skeptical when it comes to that part, but thank you for that. This year's theme, sustaining what sustains us. So in your view, your perspective, how do oceans sustain life, even in places far away from the coast? Besides the seafood, because that's delicious.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting how the world is so connected to the oceans. If you have a look at for example, the oxygen that you get, we have some microorganisms, the algae that live in the oceans that produces a lot of oxygen that you get even from here. So if you do anything that somehow affects the survivability of those planktons and the algae, we are likely to have deficiencies in oxygen that we have here. It also helps us it's part of the food chains of most of our organisms. Some animals that migrate and move towards other areas, they also benefit from the oceans itself. So as people who are in a landlocked area, the theme sustain what sustains us is actually relevant to us, like that. We also have the rivers that are connected to the oceans. The two rivers that I'm aware of are the Limpopo River in the south and then one in the north river, the Cholo and the Zambezi River. So if we do anything to affect those rivers, they are likely to also contribute towards the ocean where they are. So basically, we are connected and we are not alone. So we should also find ways to make sure that we sustain our rivers that are also connected to those oceans so that we benefit from it.
I like that you said that. I like that you mentioned that we are all connected to ocean life and oceanic disturbances and everything that happens, because that leads me right into my next question about how our anthropogenic or human activities in inland countries such as Botswana affect ocean health globally?
Well, like I said, we live in a global village. So most of us will also move towards those places, coastlines for tourism. We have one of the best biodiversity hotspots in the world, but we are familiar with the farming system and the areas also. We go to one of our favorite areas is in Namibia, Durban, and then also the coastline of Mozambique. We also go to places like the Zanzibar and the Tanzania. So as a tourist, when you get there, we shouldn't live or be there like people who are not aware of how to protect an ocean. You see a plastic, you see something, you should find a way to collect it also, take it to the trash. Don't pollute the areas with the plastic pollution. I'm talking about plastic now because it is one of those known pollutants that is actually threatening our oceans currently, and it's really affecting a lot of animals in the ocean. So whenever you're out there having fun, let's make sure that we are also protecting the area and ensure them that even though we are from an inland country, we are also familiar with ways of protecting that area.
Okay, ignorance is not bliss, basically. From your background in biology and biotechnology, which I think is very interesting, right? What scientific innovations or approaches do you think are helping to protect the ocean ecosystems that we currently have in place right now?
Well, it's interesting. For example, we know that we have this beef that we're exporting towards the European countries or other countries far from us using the ocean. So the ships that we have, for example, we should be having people who are familiar with the marine ecology and are able to tell how our ships that we are using to transport those things are actually affecting the ocean. It's also an area that we can use to get more data. We can use those ships that are moving because they're ours to help us collect more information about the marine ecosystems and stuff. So it should open up doors for those who are interested in studying the marine biology, marine ecology, anything of interest, so that us also we tap into those international waters and contribute towards the scientific knowledge that's there. So we are looking forward to having marine biologists coming up from Botswana. The biology that you do study here, that I studied that used is sort of an open biology that looks into different fields within biology, including the marine biology, although we are not specializers, but it gives you foundation to have interest into exploring further even into the marine ecosystem.
Interesting. Murphy, thank you so much. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're a very busy man, but thank you for that. I think it's very interesting to understand that just because we're a landlocked country and we're based in Botswana doesn't mean that nothing we do affects oceans. It affects our life. You know, it's part of our life, and I really hope that message is driven home today via our guests. And yeah, but with that, I thank you for coming. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll learn a lot more from you in upcoming episodes.
Thank you, Nicole, for having me, and thank you, Larata.
Thank you so much for coming through, Murphy. Nicole, if somebody wants to hear more of such conversations, especially on Sustain 267, and probably see how they can, do their call for action, become a global citizen as opposed to just worrying about Tamohai, where can they find you?
You can find us on LinkedIn, Sustain267, Instagram, Sustain267. You can find Murphy if you want to learn more about marine ecosystems and oceanic life and biotechnology at Murphy Tladi on LinkedIn. We have a website as well. Just Google Sustain267. And yeah, that's me. I've been your host, Nicole. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much, Murphy. Once more, please enjoy the rest of your day. That's how we wrap up Sustain 267 with Nicole. It comes through every single Wednesday right here on Wire.